Myself, my name is D. Arun Kumar Bharati. So I'm basically an electrical engineer. So I'm having a 20 plus year of experience in health and safety field. I started my career as a salesperson, then slowly I moved into training and consultant area. So I completed a PG diploma in electrical safety, and I'm also level 1 thermographer. So I used to do thermography auditing. Okay, so level 1 is a basic level to analyze the electrical fault and to diagnose the like hotspot identification. So this is my so my profile. Um, so I am with the Sarvam Safety for the past 20 years. So I started in Usha Fair. Now I am just continuing still the Sarvam Safety. And the objective of the seminar is always, so I think this is the fundamental, you will agree with me. So in safety concern, we have to always take proactive approach, not reactive approach. So before the problem comes and we have to take a multiple action. So that is called the proactive. And after the problem and doing story, screenplay, direction is reactive. That no one is going to get benefit, and we are going to take proactive action. So here to take a proactive action, so from Sarvam Safety, so we are trying to give some points. Okay, right. So let's understand what happened, actually what is happening to the industries. So we know very well entire world has locked down due to Corona, and many of the people are struggling and they are fearing. Do they have a profession maybe after the lockdown? This is the case. But what happened? So this case you may be familiar. So which happened okay yesterday, so Vizag, right? So gas leakages almost 7 people has almost 11 people has died, and more than 1,000 people are still in the case. And medias are saying it is almost another Bhopal. Maybe whatever the case, let us not go into it, but take the message. Whenever an industry has locked down for a certain period, when we restarting the operation, we should take much care. See, it is not only for the industries, even for our human body also. See, we are taking rest for 1 month, 1.5 months, and suddenly, if you ask me to run for a marathon, I cannot. So even I cannot run also, right? Same way, rested industries and restless body, if you are not taking care properly, if you are not taken the precautionary measures, these kind of disaster we can't avoid. So again, in industries they are saying very clearly, whenever you store the liquid, wherever you store the gases, and mainly running machineries and electrical equipment, if you are not used for more than 1 month, then you have to be very, very careful. It means what? We have to start from the beginning. And here we are going to share some point. So hope so all of you understood from this. And there are some other cases which is not that much popular, and which has come to our knowledge. I am just sharing. Okay, Naval Lignite Corporation (NLC), there was a boiler blast. Of course, it may not be the reason for lockdown, but there is some poor maintenance, and people are saying. But again, let us not go to the root cause. Let us understand. So, how much maintenance is very important. And if you take other two cases, so there was one R flash in Chennai. So there is one small B class industries during the lockdown period. The key person told the maintenance team to I mean that okay, organize the loose wire. So organize the loose wire means we can make a pipe over it, or we can tie it up. But what the person has did it, and he made a concrete over the wires. ஸோ என்ன பண்ணிட்டாரு அப்படின்னா, ஒயர் லூஸா இருந்திருக்கு. ஸோ அந்த லாக்டவுன் பீரியட்ல ஸோ அவர் என்ன பண்ணிட்டாரு, ஒரு மேசன் ஒரு ஒரு கொத்தனாரை கூப்பிட்டு அந்த ஒயர்லாம் லூஸா இருக்கு, இதை வச்சு ஒரு கான்கிரீட் போடணும்னு சொல்லிட்டாரு. So what the mason has did he used his hard tools. Okay, and the metal tools எல்லாம் வச்சுட்டு he used all the hard tools and he cut down the wire unknowingly. But luckily there was no power at the time when during the lockdown period. But when he is trying to start the factory on Monday, that is 4th last Monday, as soon he switch on the electrical main, and the person whoever standing near to the cable, they got electrocution. It is like R flash. ஓகே, புரியுதுங்களா? ஸோ என்ன ஆச்சுன்னா, அவர் போட்டுட்டு போயிட்டாரு. அந்த நேரத்தில் பவர் இல்லை. இவங்க போயிட்டு ஃபேக்டரி ஆன் பண்ணலாம், மெயின் ஆன் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க, அண்ட் சடன்லி ஆர் ஃபிளாஷஸ் ஹேப்பன். ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் ஒன் கேஸ் ஹேப்பன் இன் சென்னை. This same day, Monday, there was one industry in Chennai, Tiruvallur. There is a water treatment plant. See, normally water treatment plant and effluent treatment plant, it will be always outside of the industries, or actually it is far away from the plant. See, what happened is so when they trying to switch on the water treatment plant, and almost 2-3 times the main tripper has got open. And when they check the case, what happened? In the control panel, there was one snake. Okay, ஒரு பாம்பு உள்ள இருந்து snake was there. Okay, so on the first switch ஆகிறப்ப அது உள்ள போயிட்டு மூவ் ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு. Then 2-3 times without checking they tried, and finally nothing happened to the person. But anyway, so animal also and any species in the earth also, it is very valuable, right? And finally this thing has happened. So after lockdown, if you do something without preparation, it is highly dangerous. So this major precaution as a electrical engineers, not only electrical engineers, whoever is attending, I assume you may be from maintenance, or you may be from technical department. Even if you are in production also fine, so you are the right person to attend the session. So operation after lockdown is very very dangerous without proper preparation. So okay, so this is the lesson we have to understand from other accidents. Okay, right. So today we are going to focus on electrical, so which is always dangerous. Okay, so look like this picture. Okay, so whenever electrical engineer and work with the electrical system, it's almost a similar job, right? So electricity is a master. When the electrical engineer is very strong, he can control the current. But if it is in a ulda way, so definitely whatever the servant or whatever the animal, so it may kill the master. Okay, so we have to be careful in each and every step. Okay, so first let us understand what will happen. The worst happen. So you may be knowing this, but again, so let us refresh. So there is a possibility of electrical injuries. So what are the electrical injuries can happen when a person is working without proper precaution after electrical accident? So worst thing is cardiac arrest may happen. Okay, cardiac arrest means sudden stop of heart, and respiratory failures. So this is the very very worst case so can happen in during the electrical accident. Then there is a possibility of muscle and nerve contraction, distraction. Okay, எலும்பு சதைகள்லாம் அங்க டிஸ்ட்ராக்ட் ஆகிறதுக்கான பாசிபிலிட்டிஸ் இருக்கு. தீக்காயங்கள், burns, there is a possibility. And there is a thermal burns. What is meant by thermal burn? It is internal organs will get affected due to the heat waves. It is called a thermal burns. So okay, and finally it will go to the death stage. And again, secondary injuries when a person standing on an elevated platform like ladder or some tables, he may be thrown out during the electric shock. So this is called a secondary injuries, right? So these kind of injuries can happen in electrical accidents. See, the result is this. It may not be worst as I am showing in the picture, okay, but this is very important. Okay, we have to understand the intensity. Okay, yes, there is a message here around. Okay, listen. A document of arc flash incident happened at Chennai. See, I will share at the end. Okay, yeah, fine. So this is the consequence of electrical shock burn. Okay, which is very very worst. Even if it is small burn, also will it be easy ones? No, and the person will suffer a lot, and the pain will be huge. Okay, so only thing we have to avoid. So that is why to proactive. And you see the equipment and person getting injuries, so that is different. And this is all the different equipment, right? Electrical equipment after the electrical or flash, you see what happened. See that electrical coils, it has got burned. Okay, and again electrical panel and electrical end connections, and the person is coverall and everything is burned, right? So this is the consequence due to electrical arc flash. Okay, so there are many. If I say anything, it's actually this electrical injuries itself may take 1 hour, but I'm just touching the worst part of it. So now actually we are going to take, and everyone need is what should be done. Okay, what should be the right way, what should be the right approach to nullify this kind of injuries. Basically, fundamental preparation we have to do in 3 aspects. We should have our own perfect system or standard operating procedure, right? See, hereafter we cannot work just like that. We should have a written procedure. It should be system dependent. It should not be a person dependent. And there is no compromise in this. We have to be the competent manpower. I know it is very challenging now. Everyone will be busy, and getting the right manpower is maybe difficult, but it should not get compromised. Okay, it should not be get compromised. Maybe with the available people we can take the work. No, if you are taking the decision, then you must be sure that whatever the caution or whatever the monitoring system has to be implemented, right? Second important is competent manpower. And a third very very important thing is called competent devices, or we can say quality tools. Whatever your electrical equipment, whatever your measuring equipment or fuses or electrical spares, it should be very, very quality oriented now. So we can't adjust. And normally we used to do, so whenever, see, when everything is going fine, no one is going to so get the question. But if something goes wrong, everyone will be in trouble. So don't be get compromised on the competent manpower and the quality tools. So this should be the fundamental preparation. See, I'm just saying, we are just saying in our own perception. If you are having a very good system, if you are having the best system, super. So you can continue with that. Okay, but we request you to take some input from this thing. Okay, so this is a fundamental preparation we have to do. SOP, manpower, and quality tools. So you can you will be having your own work permit, and you can still change it. You can make a very strict system like energized electrical work permit. So you may be aware already. And you need to give, you have to ensure whether my electrical person or maintenance person, or if you are hiring an outside contractor, you have to ensure that do they have a right training. And in an electrical person, we normally divide into two categories. One is qualified person, other is unqualified person. Okay, what is mean by qualified person? So apart from the certification and apart from the knowledge and certificate, and he should able to understand the hazards, and he should know the risk or consequences, and he should know the emergency procedures. If a person, apart from his electrical qualification like a diploma, engineering, or C license, and he should be able to identify the hazards, like actually we are talking about now arc flash and shock, and he should know what will happen after arc flash. So risk, consequences he must be aware, and emergency procedures like doing first aid. So it is the so this all training a qualified person should undergo. And there will be some assistants, and we will say assistant or electrician, they are considered to be unqualified person. And what training has to given to the unqualified person is, and he has to follow the safe work practices. Okay, if you written something, and he has to follow, and he should have knowledge of which is right practice, which is wrong practice. Okay, and please ensure, maybe you can add in your work permit, so do they have this kind of such a training or not. Okay, right. So now let us focus on the practice part. What should be the best practices? See, again, here we are not going to declare, no, this is the world best. No. Here there are input based on the many accident case studies and based on the standards and with some expert opinion. So we are just integrating all points and we are giving here. Okay. So best safety practices is start with always this point. No, not even for whatever the stage, don't be in hurry. Never assume anything. Never assume with the person word, right? Always you go and check directly, or always ensure with the proper evidence. No verbal communication, no nothing. Never assume about your electrical system. If it is right means on what category, if it is wrong means on what are the criteria. So we should be very clear. In this situation is very tough because we are actually experiencing many more accidents. And supply to load, and where are we have to check from supply to load or from main to the end machine. We have to trace the entire area. It may be difficult, it may be time consumed. One thing we have to understand that if at all you want to start your industry without any problem, so you have to follow this. Okay, so hope you will agree with me. And whenever you do maintenance, whenever you do testing, always start with a light load to heavy load. So don't directly jump into heavy load. Yes, it is the prime, it is the heart of the factory, it is the main engine of our production. But in an electrical point of view, always start from light load, then slowly, gradually go to heavy load. So this should be the very important thing. And fourth is very, very important, 5S. Okay, so 5S is very important because we may not know what happened inside, and even most of the people may forget the procedure. So 5S, that clean work environment, tidy work environment, and we may not know what will be the inside the panel. We may not know what all the things may be present inside the machinery. So we have to see at least not 5S, that the 1S and second the S1 and S2 certain study should be there. Segregation should be there properly. Okay, that 5S is the best one. Okay, these are the 4 safety practices we have to apply. Don't assume, always check from supply to load the entire track, and always check with the light load to heavy load and implement 5S. Okay, then focus on the weak point. What I am talking about, what is mean by weak point? All connections or junctions are normally weak point. If you take any mechanical valve like a fluid valve or gases valve, So normally we used to say, right? So which is the weakest point? The connections, the couplings, okay, joints always will be weakest point. So once you are, after lockdown, once you wanted to start the operation, always go and check with the connection point, like control panel, okay, junction box. You have to start with the junction box and ensure all connections are right and there is no insects or nothing inside, and control panel, then go to distribution panel, so then finally go to the main panel. Okay, so always check the weakest point wherever you are doing the connection or wherever you are doing the junction box, all are considered to be a weakest point. Okay, so we have to check all the 4 areas in the priority basis, right? So then what is meant by priority of work? So this point we have already discussed earlier. So okay, switch off the major loads if okay, if it was on, and switch off the major load first and switch off the all capacitors, and always check the incoming air circuit breaker on its proper operation. Operation means you need not to on, you can just check whether the mechanical operation is adequate or not, or whether it is as per the standard. So checking the incoming air circuit breaker is very very important. Okay, then always check your main panel, open the door and remove the dust and contamination. Even in this case, I can recommend, even you can use some blower or you can use some vacuum system to remove the dust, or there may be some spider will be there inside and we may not know what will be there inside. So always clean all the panel from okay, outside, and then open the door and clean inside also to remove all contamination and dust, and maybe something may be there inside. Okay, so this thing should be adopted. Okay, so this priority we need to follow. Okay, you will be knowing this, but I am again reinforcing. Okay, switch off major load, switch off capacitor and check air circuit breaker, and always clean the panel or whatever the electrical connections. Okay, remove from dust and contamination, right? See, it should not be, maybe it should not be this much worst. Okay, but anything may be there inside, there might be a dust buildup. So you might have got the point. Maybe I think in Chennai there was a rain for one day. I think last before week there was a rain, and we may not know what happened inside. Okay, so we have to check and clean everything. Right. Then ensure right PPE in good condition. Even the latest guideline also, government guideline also says very clearly. So it is post lockdown when we are going to operate the industries. Always ensure right PPE in good condition, because we may be using the gloves and we may left it somewhere, and due to the raining or due to the open condition, and internally it may be having some damages. Okay, so you go and check the PPEs in good condition, and also it should be the right one. You see, right one means I am talking about right voltage and right current. Okay, because other operation, okay, fine, but the electrical operation, the voltage and current rating is 100% mandatory. We have to ensure, and ensure the protective device condition. Whatever the protective devices, I'm talking about the trippers and circuit breakers and sensors. Okay, so that and all you have to check the DLCBs and surge arresters, and whatever the protective devices you are using, you have to check in the condition. And whatever the protective devices, if actually if it want to perform, see, if a circuit breaker has to trip within 25 milliseconds, then earthing is very very mandatory. See, earthing is a basic, it's in electrical safety, but to right operating of protective devices, right, like tripper, the earth should be perfect. Okay, so we have to ensure the protective device condition, and always use earth discharge. Okay, yeah, earth discharge rod to ensure or to remove the residual electricity. The residual current, where all it will be there, not only in the capacitor, whatever the UG cable more than 2.5 square meter, okay, 2.5 mm, okay, 2.5 mm square meter cable, okay, they will have the residual energy, because or whatever the high tension voltage usually actually the cable will have some residual energy, residual electricity, so we have to discharge using earth discharge rod. Okay, cable trench, you have to go and check cable galleries, maybe there may be a water accumulation or maybe some other contamination, so you have to check inside. Okay, so these are the things we have to check. Now let us focus on the PPE part, which is going to be very important. Okay, and the first lifeline defense, the first line defense is the electrical hand gloves. So if at all you want to have a complete electrical hand protection, then we suggest you to use this pattern. Okay, you can use one gloves inside like a cotton gloves, so which will take care of the sweat and whatever the fluid inside. Second one thing is a insulating gloves, so which will give a electrical insulation. And third thing is called leather protector, it give a mechanical injuries. ஸோ இது ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் சார். ஏன்னா நார்மலா நம்ம ஒரு கிளவுஸ் தான் யூஸ் பண்ணுவோம். பட் என்ன சஜஷன் அப்படின்னா, நம்ம கண்டினியூஸா ஒரு 20 மினிட்ஸ் அண்ட் பியாண்ட் ஒர்க் பண்றப்போ நமக்கு ஸ்வெட் அதிகமாகும். அண்ட் எலக்ட்ரிக்கல் ஒர்க்ல ஸ்வெட் அதிகமாச்சுன்னா நம்ம பாடி ரெசிஸ்டன்ஸ் கம்மியாகும். பாடி ரெசிஸ்டன்ஸ் கம்மியாச்சு அப்படின்னா we are vulnerable to get electric shock. அப்போ இன்சைடு வேர்வு அதிகமா இருக்கிறதுக்கு, அதிகம் இல்லாம இருக்கிறதுக்கு ஒரு காட்டன் கிளவுஸ், அதுக்கு மேல எலக்ட்ரிக்கல், தென் அதுக்கு மேல ஷார்ப் எட்ஜஸ் இருக்கும், சம் ஸ்மால் எண்ட் கனெக்ஷன், கேபிள் கனெக்ஷன்லாம் இருக்கும். அது இந்த எலக்ட்ரிக்கல் கிளவுஸ் கட் பண்ணாம இருக்கிறதுக்கு we have to use one leather protector. I am not saying it will be comfortable, but it will be highly protective. Okay, if you have any question we can discuss at the end. Okay, so this is a suggested pattern for a right protection. And inspection on the electrical gloves is mandatory, because and you have to check the date also. Now almost 2 months has passed. Okay, see our EBIE rule says that, and Indian standard also says that, so every 6 months once we have to retest the electrical gloves, or yearly once we have to replace it, and you check which condition. So your gloves in which condition are not. Okay, so this is the IS standard 4770 says every 6 months we have to test, and yearly once you need to replace. Okay, right. And what all the inspection we have to do while using or before using the electrical gloves. Okay, and we have to check all the fingers, and we have to check the cuff, that wristy area, because that is the most vulnerable area to get cut or punches. And you have to check if there is any spillage of acids or some chemicals or other petroleum solvents. Okay, and you have to check for the marking. Okay, so this inspection we have to do once when you planning to start the electrical operation or electrical maintenance, and go and check your gloves whether it is in right condition or not. I'm going to play one video now. Maybe you may not hear the audio, but you can very well view the sceneries. Okay, you just understand how to check an electrical gloves manually. So hope you got the point. Okay, so hope you understood the point, right? So it is very, very important to inspect the gloves. Okay, and imagine when you want to work continuously, when the person hand is wet or due to the sweat. Okay, so that time a small pinhole in the electrical gloves may kill the person. So we should be very, very careful. Another precaution is providing the insulating mat. So hope you all will having it. But what we suggest is always have a electrical mat, a piece of 1 meter by 2 meter. It is called a work mat. It's a small piece of mat. Electrical person with cycle can carry the mat wherever he going to work. Okay, maybe in front of the panel, in front of the electrical machinery, and he can just place the mat down and he can stand on the mat and he can work. So always provide the work mat size of 1 meter by 1 meter. Okay, this is suggested one. And then always use a proper insulated tool. You will be actually having many tools. There, if there is any crack in the insulation, if the insulation, that plastic part, if it is get damaged, then it is not considered as a insulated tool. Okay, always ensure the tool in a good condition, because electrical tools is having its own testing like a VDE approval, And if you see in the presentation that double triangle mark, see the double triangle mark will be there on the gloves and electrical tools. It means it indicates you can touch the live wire. Okay, so when equipment can be used at a live line, then you should be in good condition. So ensure the proper insulated tool. So this is the main thing. Then apart from safety shoes and other things are mandatory, but which we are requesting you to focus on the first point of gloves and work mat, the size of 1 meter by 1 meter, and the insulated tools with the proper insulation. Okay, then based on your electrical risk, you can provide insulating helmets, because normal helmet will give an insulation of 2000, but class E helmet will give an insulation of up to 20,000 volt also, right? So this is the ideal thing to prevent a person, to save a person from electric shock. Okay, then we talked about electrical R flash. So R flash is very worst things I will cover in the upcoming slides. For R flash, normally there are 4 category of PPE recommended. The first category is a basic category where it is calculated for 4 calorie injuries, where normal cotton pant and shirt or the arc rated coverall for 4 calorie with the face shield we can use. And category 2, it is, so it can be used at the rating of 8 calorie. See, calorie is nothing but incident energy. Whenever the arc, that occur, the intensity is measured in terms of calorie. So calorie means the heat and heat waves and temperature and pressure all put together called the calorie per centimeter square. Okay, so that is the 8 calorie. So these two are considered to be a primary protection. Okay, because even if you switch off the machinery, so even if you de-energize the equipment, there may be some residual energy. Okay, it may again, okay, so it may again come back and create a arc. And there are other category 3 and 4 considered to be secondary PP. Secondary PP means here we have to go with another layer. Here the calorie rating, the incident rating, the energy will be 25 calorie for 3 and 40 calorie for 4. Okay, if you see the picture itself, if you see the category 1 and 2, it will be look like normal coverall and face shield. Okay, this is primary. If it is secondary, then we have to use the second layer, double layer or triple layer, multi-layer coverall or pant and shirt, and instead of face shield, we have to use the hood. Okay, so hope you got the point. Okay, so let me again simplify in the other slide. Okay, so this is the advantage of electrical R flash suit. See, if you see the top, it is the R flash suit without arc, and the second is the R flash suit with arc. Maybe the suit may get this kind of damage, but inside the person will be safe. Okay, so that is the advantage of electrical R flash suit. Okay, right. So let us summarize the R flash coverall selection again. If it is a normal working condition, we can allow our person to work with their regular coverall. Okay, or we can work with a category 2 R flash coverall. Okay, if it is a special working condition, or if it is a category 3 and 4, then on top of the regular coverall, he has to wear the R protection coverall, or we have to completely cover the person with R flash hood and R flash pant and boot also. Okay, right. So this should be the right PPE for R flash. Okay, if you have any queries, we can discuss at the end. Right. Now let me show on another video how it will protect the person during R flash. So hope you got the point. So even if the person is not actually is wearing the right R flash suit, he will be little bit pushed away. You saw that, right? So that is the effect of R flash. So the person will be pushed away. But if he wear the right protective clothings, and the injuries level will be minimum. Okay, right. Now coming to the other point. Okay, then how to check the electrical insulation? So check all power distribution boards. Okay, individually. We have to check each and every power distribution boards individually. No assumption, as I told earlier, and ensure power supply at incomer. Okay, and always that is the right practices. So anyway, you will do take a measure before charging the panel. Okay, and ensure the ohms is in a right value. Okay, and always do the visual inspection inside. What is mean by visual inspection inside mean? If possible, you just open the door. It is not compulsory, but it is again option. You can just open the door and you can check inside the panel. okay, inside the panel. If you do already the cleaning by using the blower or buying the vacuum, that's fine, super. Or if it is not possible before, then you have to check visually, inspect, and that inside. Okay, so these are the practices we have to do, check all PDPs and other things. Okay, and how to check? Now here actually here will be other risk. Okay, to check the maybe a neutral condition or to check the power supply, and we will use the measuring instrument. And measuring instrument is one such equipment which may create R flash if it is not properly selected and if it is not properly used. So let us see some point in measuring instrument. See this kind of environment after lockdown, you are going to test something, and you may understand the risk because it is not a perfect environment. Okay, as shown in a lot of leaflets and in the videos. So this is the typical work area in most of the industries. So in this case, if you want to take a measurement by touching the electrical panel or touching the conductor, then it must be done in a right way. Okay, OSHA standard also says very clearly, the measuring instrument must be handled by the qualified person. Okay, not the apprentice or not the junior people. Okay, we should give proper training to the person, and we have to and educate the person to use the proper maybe whatever the multimeter or measuring equipment. And traditional voltage tester, so will it be allowed? It is the faulty equipment. Again, it is an unsafe equipment because there is no proper test and there is no proper rating. There is no standard for this conventional traditional voltage tester. Always try to avoid using in industry. If you are using at home, okay, fine, for a single phase and 220 voltage, it is okay, but not for our industrial application. Okay, don't use the traditional voltage tester because it is having neon lamp inside, it is having resistor, and if you touch backside, it will give a indication, right? But even it will give an indicator in the leakage current also. More than 70 volt AC, the tester will glow. Okay, so this is a faulty indicator. Again, we may not know what will be the condition inside the tester. Okay, so always go with the certified equipment. So hence we suggest one thing is called a non-contact low voltage detector. It is the induction tester where there is no necessity to touch the line or to touch the contactor. With a proximity of 2 to 3 inch distance, you can just check whether the equipment is alive or not. Okay, you can check the voltage presence. Okay, you need not to touch. See, whenever there is no touch, there is no contact with the electrical equipment, so that ambience is considered to be safe. So this will give a right safety system. Okay, so non-contact detector we can use it. Even though if you have the right equipment and accessories, with the proper use only will ensure the safety. Okay, again I repeat here, in electrical safety, it is not only depends on the person, it is not only depends on the tools, it is also depends on the practice. See, you can give training to the person and you can select the industry's best equipment, but the interaction between the equipment and the person is not in right practice. So then again there will be a chance of accident. So safety at work is a combination of right equipment and also with the proper use. So hope you will agree with me, right? Again, NFE also says very clearly at article 110.4, all test and measuring equipment is also one part of PPE. Okay, so as like we saw the gloves, whatever the test measurement equipment like multimeter we use, it also one part of PPE. Okay, when the gloves is in good condition, the person will be safe. By the same way, if you have the right test and measurement equipment, and the person will be safe. Okay, so this is actually ensured by one standard called IEC 61010. It is International Electrical Commission, IEC. Okay, it is 1611010, right? Okay, why it is required, why we have to select the right test and measuring equipment is due to the industrial condition, due to our industrial environment, due to the heavy loads, there may be a spike can up to 8000 volt. If we are not choosing the right, if someone is not choosing the right electrical measuring equipment, and he is vulnerable to get electrocution or electrical arc. Okay, what it will happen and how it can happen? See, this is the regular tendency. See, okay, if you can recollect your experience, not that all people will use the equipment properly. There may be a wrong connection. So they will connect a meter to a voltage source, and they will always do the. See, I mean, so when it is in a series connection, they will make a voltage measurement. So what will happen? It is considered as a short circuit. The instrument may blow. And by keeping it in a continuity measurement, okay, and they will check the current at live circuit. See, again here also what will happen? It is considered to be a short circuit. In the two cases, that equipment will blow. If it is a right equipment used at right location with right fuse, then the problem, the damage will go with the equipment. But if it is not, the problem will transfer to the person. So it will end as a electrical shock or electrical arc flash. Okay, so hope you okay got the point. Okay, to see, first thing we have to avoid the mistake. We have to train the worker. Then we have to choose the right equipment also. See, usage of wrong fuses. See, again, when you start the electrical work, you will choose right SOP and you will choose right manpower. You will choose right tools. And also, we request you to check with your electrical supplier. Do they have a proper stock? It is again a kind of proactive approach. You talk to the supplier. Do they have all spares with the stock? If he is not having the stock, please approach other supplier. In fact, we will cover somewhere in the presentation. It is also very important. Don't time being manage with the regular fees. Always go with the right fuse rating. So otherwise, it can create damage. Again, always use a quality probe, because probe is the point which is actually very near to the live contact, and I will also show a video about it. Always select a proper rating of what is the rating. So I will show a picture later, and we see rating is nothing but normally all electrical insulation are divided into four categories, four location. The location one is the main incoming. So from the transformer, we are getting from EB, we are getting the electrical power, right? It is called the location 4. And location 3 is called the main distribution panel and heavy loads. Okay. And location 2 is moderate load. And location 1 is the very light electronic load. So based on the location, and we have to use right instrument, measuring instrument. So you will understand. So in my later slides. Okay, if it is not selected properly, the measuring instrument can create arc flash. You see this picture, what happened? See, what is mean by arc flash? It is nothing but short circuit through air. It may be face to face or face to air. So what will happen? There is, and you are seeing one blue color arc, right? It is called a plasma. Okay, so this plasma, what will happen? It is a conductive plasma. When there is an arc flash, if the main tripper is working, means within 10 or 20 milliseconds, it is fine. If it is not opened during the time, there will be a continuous flow of electric current, then it will go to the arc blast state. Okay, for that you need to go for separate arc flash training, but you just understand the severity. Even a measuring instrument itself can create arc flash. Okay. If a person is having a measuring instrument in his hand and he is seeing the reading by keeping very close to his face, what will happen? So in case of wrong equipment, it may get blast. Okay. So again, while measuring with the equipment also, the person will be provided with the proper face protection. The helmet only, it is not enough. The eyewear goggle only is not enough. Always better to provide proper face shield. Okay. Right. So category 3 and 4, I told you about main distribution panel and heavy load is called as the category 3, and incomer is category 4. Why it is very important? It can create a fault current up to 1 lakh amperes. Okay. What are all the location? What are all the equipment comes under category 3? This is the list. All 400, 660, 690, because industries, so we use a lot of different voltages. It is location 3. And all 3-phase bus, I mean the bus bar and feeders and motor control centers, all load centers, all distribution panel, permanently installed load and motors and lightings and like heavy lighting like halogen and mercury lamp, load centers, okay, and whatever the big machineries you use in your production. So these are considered to be location 3, means it is a power circuit measurement. Okay. Why we are asking you to choose the right equipment. If it is right equipment, even though there was some arc flash inside the measuring equipment, it will have a double wall protection. It will not come out. Okay. So this is the advantage over right electrical measuring equipment. So I will come to that how you have to choose. Okay. And there are multiple brands are available in the market. You may be familiar with some brand. Okay. So this is one particular equipment where it is having mini protection. So I will explain. if you see center, it is having a double square, right? There is one small square, and on top and above it there is one square. It is called double insulated. See, if any measuring instrument having this white color double square symbol means it is having a double insulation. So electrocution possibilities are less. Okay. Then if you see there is a IP rating, it is called ingress protection. Ingress protection means you can use in outer environment, whatever the dust or whatever the water outside will not penetrate, okay, inside the machineries. And here you see in between the jack, it is called category 4 and 3. So you can also use it in category 3 location up to 1000 volt, and you can use in category 4 up to 600 volts. Okay, and CE mark and other things are there. So if an electrical instrument is having all double insulated and proper category and proper IP rating, you can depends on the equipment, but still the practice should be perfect. Okay, right. So other thing is, apart from the measuring instrument, main instrument, the lead. So we used to talk about probe, right? The probe also very important. For category 1 and 2, there is a different kind of probe, so which the metal exposure will be more, like around 1 inch or so almost like half inch. Okay, and in the measuring instrument for category 4, there should be a minimum that metal exposure should be 4 mm. Okay, sorry, maximum 4 mm. Okay, so we have to choose the probe accordingly. Not that all electrical wire can be used at multimeter. No, please avoid it. Okay, so let me make a video so which will give a clear picture. Okay sir, so you got the point. So அந்த சாக்கெட்ல வந்து ஒரு ஹோல் இருக்கிற மாதிரி இருக்கு, அதுல நம்ம மெஷர் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னா அந்த இடத்துல மெட்டல் எக்ஸ்போஷர் அதிகமா இருக்கிறது ஓகே. அதே நேரத்துல ஒரு பஸ் பார்ல ஒரு பிளேட்ல வச்சு நம்ம மெஷர் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னா அப்போ அந்த கேட்டகரி 4th கேட்டகரி வந்துடும். அப்போ அந்த மெட்டல் எக்ஸ்போஷர் கம்மியா இருக்கும், இல்லைன்னா அந்த இடத்துல ஷார்ட் சர்க்யூட் ஆகிறதுக்கான பாசிபிலிட்டி இருக்கு. Okay, so always use equipment rating and test lead rating are same. Okay, yes. So we are almost coming to an end. We are having another 4-5 points to discuss. Okay, so this should be the minimum things we have to ensure while we are selecting the measuring instrument. Ennalla check pananum appadina first category check pandrom, then check for approvals, means CE approval or IEC iruka. Right fuse, don't compromise on the fuse part. Then physical damage, edavadhu physical udanji illama iruka. Then ohms and continuity protection. In the point may not be available for all the equipment, but you can check. So ohms and continuity protection means even wrong selection of the jack itself so will not create a electrocution. Then examine the test lead. If we last up of the video, always check the test leads and always check the internal brakes. And the wire edutha sarasarana suttittu adu romba crush pannama, and we have to use in a proper way. So this should be the minimum inspection we have to do test and measuring equipment usages. Okay, yes. Then what is the other suggested practice? Don't hold the measuring instrument in your hand. Why? Instrument fail achi appadina, the failure of the instrument may cause electrocution. So always place the measuring that multimeter in a wall, or you can use some magnetic stick. Okay, you can use it, and always this is the fundamental, but most of the areas people are not following it up. Always test with a known source. So then you take a measurement in all the areas wherever you want to take. Then again finally you take with a known source. Okay, check. So in this area we are just, it is like a daily calibration. Okay, it's like a calibration of test and measuring equipment. It is one of the best practices. So then always put ground lead first, always touch minus first, so then touch plus. Okay, the same way. So when you want to remove, so first remove the plus, so that is the hot lead, so then remove the ground lead. So what will happen? This ensure the manipulations, right? It also avoid the electrocution. Okay, so this should be the right practice. See, இது மாதிரி ட்ரைனிங் எல்லாம் இது என்ன விஷயம்னா எல்லாருக்குமே எல்லாமே தெரியும் சார். பட் அந்த நேரத்துல ஒரு ப்ரெஷர்ல அவங்க என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க, நானே பார்த்திருக்கேன் கண்ணால, ஒரே கையில 2 லீடையும் வச்சு மெஷர் பண்ண ஆள்லாம் நான் பார்த்திருக்கேன். Okay, so don't never allow. I saw many people and whoever having in a single palm they will keep 2 leads like plus lead and minus lead, and they will take a measurement. Why? On the other hand, they will hold the instrument. Okay, so this is one of the worst practice. Never ever allow it and educate our team. Okay, right. Then what we have to do? Always don't allow your another hands to move, okay, freely. Always hold your hand or keep it in your pocket, pant pocket, so that in case if there is any vibration or in case any some insert, that insect of any that housefly or something has bite you also, or the mosquito bite also, your hand will not move freely. So otherwise what will happen? If your hand suddenly moves, it may touch the other live panel. Okay, so be cautioned always. Okay, control the movement hand. Okay, right. So these are the fundamental but very very important practices. Okay, so then coming to the operation part. First, always switch on the lighting loads. Light loads, yeah, it is lighting loads first. So then increase gradually load one by one. And each and every load switch on, you check whether the tripper is working or do you hear any noise warning. See, what is in the noise warning? So then the earthing may not be proper, there is a leak of electricity, okay, or there may be some loose connection. When see the in electrical installation, noise warning is the fundamental. Says something wrong with the connection. What you will do in that point? Again, our basic philosophy, always from a supply to load, check that track. Okay, by measuring it or by whatever things. Okay, so then gradually increase the load one by one. If you are not hearing any noises or any problem, then you can switch on next load, then next load. Okay, so once you switch on the all load, then finally you can add the capacitor back. Okay, so hope it is a fundamental, but again it is my duty to remind. So after switch on the all the load, then finally you can switch on the capacitors. Okay, right. Then which is very important, always communicate even if it is minor defect also. See, don't be in the complacent. Always we need to instruct our team member. Okay, and they will think that, sir, we can adjust and work, sir. No, don't ever allow in this situation. Whatever the small mistakes, whatever the small problems, you ask them to communicate to you or the right person immediately. Okay, the one small complacency will can happen the bigger things, like our recently, right, the Coimbatore market in Chennai happened, right? So one small loophole they gave, and they said suddenly declared there is a 4 days going to be a complete lockdown for okay till 29. And what all people did, they went to the market, all social distance, and everything has gone. Okay, then again now, and yesterday almost 400 cases increased in Chennai. Okay, so never ever allow small defects also to be in a complacent state. Always get the communication. Okay, right. Then coming to the very important point, how to protect ourselves from arc flash. Okay, arc flash nothing but a sudden release of energy with the heat, pressure, and again with the radiation. It is called arc flash to say. And to say very simply, it will create lot of problem. Arc flash will happen less than 1 second. But less than 1 second, it is having a capacity to kill a person. Okay, it can create a severe burn. It can create vision damage. It can create a lot of internal injuries. Okay, why and how it can happen? This is the simple. I will just explain very simply. If there is 2 conductor which is near, there will be a air gap. If there is a short circuit in the air, it will create arc. The arc will create molten metal. The arc will create that vapor plasma, and it will create some small buckle shot, and it will also create some pressure, and everything. Almost the temperature will go up to 60, almost 35,000 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, and the expansion ratio will be up to 67,000 times. This is very big, and everything is considered to be a incident energy. If at all you want to understand, if at all you want to communicate your team on how will be the arc flash energy, it is considered in calorie. In our bare outer skin, if a person is experiencing 1 second flame, open flame through a light stick or a cigarette lighter, is called 1 calorie. If the same person experiencing the same flame for 10 seconds, it is called 10 calorie. If the same person experiencing for 20 seconds, it is called 20 calorie. It is this approximately to understand the heat impact. Okay, so this point is very very critical. So how to avoid it? So I am just implementing, I am just insisting these practices. Always understand the boundary. So one is flash boundary, other is shock boundary. So listen carefully. This is very, very important. You can check a lot of presentation and manuals are available. But this, so here I want to give important of this. Okay. Whenever if there is any panel needs to be switched off or switched on, okay, maybe live condition or de-energized condition, always there may be a possibility of electrical or flash. Okay, and some people will say, I followed every procedure, I switched off every switch, so will I get or flash still? See, theoretically may not, but we may not know what is your system, and we may not know what is your okay, that earthing, and we may not know what is your okay, other insulation and all. Okay, so depends on your situation, you have to take a call. But always we suggest, whenever you want to switch on or switch off a heavy load, always consider all are in live condition, even though you know visually it is switched off, because there may be some residual energy, right? So you consider in that way and follow this. Okay. Now coming to the boundary part. The first boundary, it is called a flash protection boundary. Normally, if you see, our electrical panel will have an electrical mat in front of it, right? What is the width? It is 1 meter. So it is universally calculated. A panel can create electrical arc flash. The arc flash distance may come up to 3.5 feet. It is up to 600 or 660 voltage. Okay, if it is 1000 2000 voltage, it may be a little beyond, but in a normal working condition up to 600 volt, it may come up to 1 meter approximately. So this is the boundary, and whenever we need to see, or whenever there is a situation, we have to enter in the boundary and we have to take all protective measures. Okay, hope you understand the boundary. Okay, it is divided into 3 parts. Okay, so I think this picture will give a very clear thing. First boundary is called arc flash boundary, where if a person has touches in this boundary, he is vulnerable to get a second degree burn. Okay, and he has to wear the basic PPEs like electrical gloves, helmets, and safety boot and face shields. Okay, so this is the first boundary. It normally approximately 1 meter up to 600 volt, but he can't do all the work from standing in the far away distance of 1 meter. If at all, if you want to enter inside the boundary, and he can go up to another boundary called a limited approach boundary. Okay, so if you want to work in the limited space, see, you can read in the picture. If the person is want to work in the orange color space, it is the first boundary area. So he has to wear he must be a electrical person, or he may be unqualified, but he should have the basic PPE. And if you want to work with a semi-red color area, that is called a limited approach boundary. So when a person want to work in the limited approach boundary, he must be the qualified person. So what is the definition for qualified person? You remember, he should be able to identify the hazard, and he should know very well about the risk, and he should be trained in emergency procedures. Okay, and he must be the qualified person, and he should use the special PPE for that. And still he want to go close to the electrical panel or electrical equipment, that is the hot zone, red zone. It is called restricted space. Okay, whenever he want to cross the restricted, actually he want to touch restricted boundary and enter into restricted space, it is called, and the person has to work in the area, has to be a qualified person, and he must be provided with a special personal protective equipment, and there should be written procedure is must. It is electrically energized work permit is must. All the area work permit is must, but in the restricted space work, it should be stringent. Means what? If a person work in the orange area, maybe electrical HOD can sign. But if a person has to work in the red zone, the managing director or maybe the vice president of the industry must be aware. So that is the administrative control. Okay, so based on the boundary, whenever you are crossing one boundary, the person is closing towards the risk. Whenever he is taking steps towards the risk, and he must be protected in a that next level. Okay, so that is the point we just want to give you. So you ask your team member to follow this. So I repeat again. So this is the called arc flash boundary, where the length of the arc can touch approximately up to 600 voltage. It is 1 meter. And if you want to enter inside, and he must be use the proper PPE in each and every spaces. Okay, right. So this is about arc flash boundary protection. See, when a person is working in the red zone, he is not only vulnerable for arc flash. is also vulnerable for electrocution. So then so அப்போ அந்த ஏரியாவில் அந்த ரெட் கலர் ஏரியாவில் ஒர்க் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னா அவருக்கு ஆர்க்கும் வரும் ஷாக்கும் வரும். அப்போ அவருக்கு எலக்ட்ரிக்கல் ஷாக் கிளவுஸும் கொடுக்கணும், ஆர்க் ஷூட்டும் கொடுக்கணும். பிளஸ் இந்த இப்போ மற்ற ஏரியாவில் ஆர்க் ஷூட் மட்டும் நம்ம கொடுத்தா. ஸோ சார் உங்களுக்கு புரிஞ்சிருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். ஸோ இந்த டிஸ்டன்ஸை கீப் அப் பண்ணா ஈவன் தான் ஆர்க் வந்தா கூட அந்த பர்சனுக்கு ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் போற அளவுக்கு ஆகாது. Even though in this case, if the person is getting R flash also, the intensity will not be more. Okay, so that is the point. So let us come to the conclusion. So what are the other things we have to focus? Always have the communication facility. Okay, so if possible, give walkie-talkie or mobile is allowed, give the mobile or permit the mobile. Okay, always try to communicate regularly. If it is a R flash vulnerable area, always have a firefighting equipment, or you can have the sand. And you monitor the people. If you given the work, it may go up to 2 to 3 hours. Then monitor them in a frequent interval, because monitoring the person is very, very important. And always try to have the medical support. Okay, now medical support is mandatory. Maybe in case of electrocution, what worst can happen? It will go up to cardiac arrest stage. So always plan for the rescue sticks, or you will have some insulated tools to remove the person from a line. Okay. So then after that, what we have to do? If you are having the equipment called the AED, automated external defibrillator, so which can retrieve the person from cardiac arrest. If you have the equipment, and please ask your medical center to keep near the work area. Or if you don't have, I think there are some rental services also available. You can check with your local suppliers. Okay, you can have the equipment. This is one of the dependable equipment. When a person is suddenly collapsed due to cardiac arrest, and this equipment will save the person. Or you can have a CPR trained person near. Okay, now in this tough situation, getting the people itself very difficult, but don't compromise, get a qualified person. Okay, that CPR also so may help in that. See, I never tell it will happen, but you be prepared. Okay, that's it. Always see that is the proactive, right? So these are always, we are just forecasting. As a technical people, we will forecast many things, right? So what we are requesting you to always forecast the worst thing can happen at safety point of view, and what should be the remedies for this. So it is a kind of proactive approach. Okay? So then use the barricading system. Yeah, work permit we talked about earlier. Okay, supplier support. Already I told about this. Okay, because see, sometime what happened, the particular vendor, okay, the registered vendor, he may gone to his native, and he may not come back and open his shop. Okay, so at that time what he will do? So plan for alternative things. Okay, and use some signboards, right? So these are all regular system, but it should not get compromised. Okay, right? So with that, I'm just closing the presentation, and thank you very much for your active listening. Okay, I know you are getting many points.